mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. You know I be on a what? Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. It's all hard, ain't no fear here.
Welcome to another exciting adventure of Walk the Rebellion podcast, the only zero ride podcast ever to exist, according to Chase. What's Chase's last name?
Draper
in Birmingham. He's as mad as a madman. Yeah. I wonder if he's not used that. I wonder if he's ever put that together. I bet he's annoyed by that.
Maybe. I think that his anger fuels him over the danger.
I think you're probably right.
That we'll segue to later.
Yes, of course. I'm Drew, and with me, as always, is the king of the South Alabama Turndown and the president, CEO, and chief corporeal officer
yeah.
of Dale Boyd Sports Management. Dale Boyd.
I'm actually going to change it. I'm the king of the Mid-Alabama Walk Down.
That's what we should have changed in this episode.
You got to walk this way.
Oh, God. The jokes just never ended. As always, we'll jump right into our sponsors, but not all of them. I'm going to secretly sneak a few throughout the show.
Ooh, good.
Yeah. I looked at some of our metrics. And
it drops off when we start talking about
No. They're with us, but like I think our sponsors are funny. I think we do a good job of doing sponsor stuff, but sometimes people meander about and whatever. That's just their own thing. But on this time, I'm just going to sneak a couple in. First off, we're going to give shout out to Lucky Shot Coffee. As always, I actually gave Lucky Shot as gifts, and I got a lot of compliments on the Drew's blend, the Drew Craftshow blend that was custom made for me by Shannon. It was quite delightful.
Wow.
We have some in the office. It's very good. It's a dark roast. It turned out. I didn't want to over caffeinate people because I'm so hyper. I felt like they probably needed their own balance in that case.
Well, that was a very creative name with this. You went with the Drew's blend. I'm glad, Shannon. That was awesome.
I don't think she named it. She was waiting on you to come up with one.
I know. I should have.
I should have just called it the Shoot Your Shot. No one would have known.
Oh, yeah, that would have been great.
The Shoot Your Shot blend. Mm-hmm. That might be the red blend we need.
We could probably do that.
It should be an iced coffee blend, Shannon, if you're listening.
Yeah, because I could drink iced coffee.
There it is. So we'll make an iced coffee blend, and we'll figure out how to include some kind of bullshit magic serum into it. We'll put it in cans and sell that shit. Start out in mason jars at local gyms. It'll be fine.
You guys just got a backstage pass to what Drew and I talked about on the phone midday on a Tuesday.
That is
100% true.
It's like, what do you do at work all day? Well, me and Dale just come up with weird shit ideas.
We are like stoners that aren't stoned, trying to make
exactly
up shit.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
dude, we could have a sub shop and we could have subs in it.
There's that movie. What is it? Night Shift, I think, with Michael Keaton, where he's like, listen, all you do, it's simple, is you feed mayonnaise to the tuna fish, and then you can them. Done. It's like he's got all these dumb, great ideas. That's what we do.
Well,
so Lucky Shot Coffee will be the first sponsor we sneak in here. Second will be Dirt Coast Academy. Now, I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound like a slam, but you guys need to know. Dirt Coaster Academy did not at one bit prepare me for anything that happened in the recap of this episode. And that's no fault of their own.
No.
They couldn't have prepared me, but they literally could not have given me those skills. However, the rest of the skills that I gained from Dirt Coaster Academy were fantastic, and I used them on the 2 trails that we rode.
Yeah, right. I used my fingers on the brakes when I was holding them so my bike didn't roll out of my hands while I was walking down the hill.
And that 800 mil bar that I was told to go with really gave me stability when I was walking down those hills.
But amongst those skills, you might have used them when we were going fast the next day.
No, it was true. I did use them then. And in fairness, like I'm making a joke to set up, just teasing it in what we're going to. In reality, I did use them the next day, and it was great fun. And I use them all the time. Like after second nature, you just don't think about it. Like hitting drops, not a big deal. I mean, certain level to a certain extent. But it's not as big of a deal.
The one thing that they do prepare us for is like they're from the Gulf Coast, right? So they're used to our riding conditions. So like if you want to be coached by somebody that's used to riding our conditions, rather than going to like somewhere else where they're going to talk about rock drops and things that you're not going to experience very often in your normal everyday riding, I think that's the key for us Gulf Coastians.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Gulf coasters.
I'm Midwestern, Gulf Coast, whatever. I'm everything.
Let's be a coaster.
I can be whatever I want to be.
You can be whatever you want, Dale. You can be a flower.
Ooh, a pretty one.
Jesus. So anyway, if you have a chance, check out Dirt Coaster Academy at dirtcoasteracademy.com. We do believe it's very helpful. And now, that said, Toby can shred like a mofo. So can Nina. But I've seen them handle what we're going to talk about in this episode that we experienced, I'm sure Toby can handle like a champ.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm saying is I would need much more than 1 day of classes, which ironically, they have a bunch of great things coming up. First of those being they have a 2-day course I saw coming up. They have a week-long event course up in Bentonville. I mean, you got to make your way up that way, but you're there. That's where you will learn to ride some of these things. Mm-hmm. And then they also have, not a course, but I think it'd be worth talking about. They're going to have a Go Nuts race at Bochito in February. Yeah. Do you know anything?
The second weekend in February. I do know that.
Yeah.
Because I know the first weekend I got planned. So
yeah, it's like the 17th or something.
I think that's probably closer to the 11th.
Yeah, it's probably closer to the 11th. We'll give you those exact dates, but
yeah, we will get the dates.
They do have an event coming over there that's a Go Nuts race, which is awesome because that's like, I think that's one of the furthest south ones that Go Nuts has done.
Easily further south. It has to be. And I
That's
know
awesome.
Go Nuts goes everywhere. They
Right.
go nuts.
Hey,
Oh,
it's pretty cool
not
that
a
they're
sponsor, by the way.
Yeah, not a sponsor, not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe not after this episode.
Well, they're going to be like, well, wait, we want to.
Hey, we have a Go Nuts Junior category. It's called Peanuts, and it's for you guys.
It's for those.
And here's your new trail steward. His name is Chase.
Follow him. He'll take you right
Follow
down.
him. Actually, in fairness, he was very patient. We'll get to that. All right, so those are our two we're going to lead into. So let's talk about this. I don't get I ride a lot. You ride a lot.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about Strava, except for the year end. I do enjoy that.
Yeah.
However, I can get the exact same stuff without all the fancy graphics and in a non-shareable format from my Garmin. Right.
Yeah.
As somebody who's been on both, I've decided to get rid of Strava because I brought it up before. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you don't ride very much, bro." And so I looked at my year-end stats. Did you happen to look at year-end stats?
Yeah,
I think everyone was.
Did. I'm like a junkie.
Yeah.
Like
so where did you
junkie.
how did you fare this year?
Not good. Compared to my previous, I only really compete against myself.
Yeah.
I did the top 3%, but I feel like they gave us all the top 3%.
I think if you moved,
If you had a pulse.
yeah, if you're living,
Yeah. So mine was way down.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I had like 300 days of activity, but the mileage was just down. It was just different. It was a different year.
Yeah.
I
was up on some, and then I thought in some spots I was like, I didn't remember not riding that long or whatever. I had some weird inconsistencies. I looked back on my Garmin, and what I got obsessed with wasn't necessarily all the mileage because it matters to me, but man, I can't count all the hikes and stuff.
I use a hike app.
Now I did,
Okay.
but like early on in the year when I was first starting, like I wasn't tracking hiking, which we use for trail building.
Yeah.
Now I built a trail build preset for my Garmin, which is way better.
I need to get on that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like you just build a custom one. It's so much better. And then I went through and did I started doing my gym a certain way. And so I can at least track the movement at the gym.
Right.
Because doing the set reps on your watch sucks balls. Like it's not fun. Unless you're into sucking balls, then it's great fun. But I'm not. So it's not fun for me. So
Oh man.
So it's just a pain in the ass. So eventually I got rid of that. And so now I just have like a generic track that works for weights. And it does that. And it does a really good job. I feel like it's pretty accurate on the caloric burn and everything so far. That said, it didn't get a bunch half of the first year either. So I hit the gym every single day, or I exercised almost every single day, a few here and there, but I didn't get them all. And I was like 270 something, 260 somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it was. Top 3% too. Right. But it's like, yay, but it wasn't me. The thing that floored me is I burned 180,000 calories.
Woo.
Which I was pretty.
I didn't look at that.
That's a Garmin thing.
I should probably look at calories, but I just switched to Garmin. I have a Garmin watch now instead of Apple. And it was the last day of the year it was my 1,200 and some day streak of closing all 3 rings on my Apple Watch.
There you go.
Like stand, calories, and working out. So I worked out for more than 30 minutes, stood for 12 hours, and I burnt over 1,000 calories for 1,200 days in a row.
What is your take now on using both? I mean, now that you've kind of gone both. My only thing about Apple's always felt like the technology in Apple's gotten better, but I kind of felt like it was like Starbucks for coffee. I feel like the Garmin is like a coffee shop, and Starbucks and the Apple Watch is like Starbucks. Like it's coffee, but it's like an entryway for data because this seems to generate a lot more data than the Apple Watch does.
The one thing I don't love is like my Apple Watch was an extension of my phone, right?
Yeah.
My Garmin it's not the newest one. I just got this one to try it out just to see if I like it before I commit to something bigger and better. But it's just not, I don't feel like it's, I still have to look at my phone too much. Does that make sense? Like my Apple Watch, I could just look at that and put it down. This, I get the notification, but I'm like, wait, I want to read that. Like the Apple Watch, I could actually see.
It's more conscious.
Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. Maybe I should just put my watch down or my phone down more anyway. So
that's where the thing, I turned them all off.
Yeah.
So for me, because like I'm in meetings with a lot of clients and you're talking to somebody, or even with my friends, you've always been very good about it. You're very good about engagement. But literally, I've had friends that are like,
right, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what's on your
have
phone.
No idea what
We're having a conversation. Like, I'd rather you be on, like, literally holding up your phone looking at it than looking at your stupid ass watch, Dick Tracy.
Yeah, the other thing, the GPS on the Garmin's way better than the Apple Watch was.
And it connects to your tire meter and all that stuff. So your watch.
I'm just gonna do my. I have a stupid.
You have so many gadgets.
Garmin. Yeah, I don't need it. If I had I not bought the new Garmin GPS unit that I have for my bike, I would have never done. I mean, I would have just done it. Also, note the soft member just texted me right before I came. Garmin on Expert Voice has huge discounts now.
No joke.
Yeah, for all.
So
Garmin
if you're is that for all IMBA members?
All IMBA members.
So if you're an IMBA member, which is kind of a good deal, if you go over to Expert Voice, if you haven't gone there anyway, this is not a plug. This is not a secret commercial. It's legit. We bought our downhill helmets. I accidentally bought Dale one. We did not mean to look twinsies. I ended up buying two of them, but they were so cheap on there. And it was a great sweet protection helmet, which is one of the highest rated helmets, and they're cheap. They also have they don't have, you can, but they have the other one, Tailwinds.
Yeah, Tailwind.
Tailwinds.
I bought Floyd's of Leadville CBD stuff off there. I bought my Oakley helmet off there was 50%
Yeah,
off.
your Oakley helmet's dope.
Yeah, I love that helmet. And what else is...
I bought some Topo gear, which is like a company that makes nice backpacks and other stuff.
Hundreds of brands.
Yeah, it's good. So if you haven't had a chance, it's good.
It's worth the $39 or $50 membership fee, whatever you do a year for your IMBA chapter. You can make it back in one purchase.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what blew me away. Is I literally was like, oh, before I go buy something, I jump onto that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And if you're worried about the socks, who gives a shit about the socks? You can buy better socks than those. I mean, they're not bad socks,
right?
But I mean, everyone gets obsessed with this. I don't know why people in the South want their socks. Do other people? Hey, if you're not in our area, do your people complain about the socks? Please let us know. We need to know.
You can free socks.
Free IMBA socks. People obsessed with free IMBA socks. So that'd be interesting. I'd be curious to see after a little bit of time how you feel with the Garmin versus the Apple. I think that's a good comparison.
It's a little more. The Apple was a little more user friendly.
It is.
The Garmin's a little clunkier.
It is. It's data.
Yeah, it's like, but I love the data. Like the app is way better than the health app.
Oh, it's 10 times better. Yeah.
But it's still, I mean,
it'll give you like flow and grit and when you're riding.
I've been a Blue Guy gang for so long now that I mean, at one point everything in my house was Apple. So just trying to like transition to it. But running and biking and doing all the fitness stuff I do, the Garmin seems to be way better.
We'll see how it is. I'd be curious to see what you take away from it once it's said and done. I mean, I think it'll be a nice thing. So it's a new year.
That's right.
And we're going to get to our main topic here in a second, but it's a new year. When you start a new year, do you set your goals? Do you set up a new goal? Do you come up with any kind of mechanic you're going to go after? What do you do? Do you approach anything? Do you say this year in biking, I'm going to do X?
I'm literally the worst goal person on the planet. Like I hate setting goals.
Right.
Because I hate expectation, I guess. But I also... my goals are more like, I don't know, daily maybe. And I don't even write them down or consciously think about them, but it's like, all right, today I'm just not going to suck.
Right.
So
my goal today, not to suck.
I know that like every business meeting I've ever been in and every like high level person's like a super goal setter, but they also have like vision boards on their wall and I'm not that douchey either. So I don't know. Like, so the goal thing, I put it on there as like an arbitrary number on my Strava just to say like, hey, if I reach that goal, cool. If I don't, then I sucked. Too many days. But, so no, I'm not a goal guy. Maybe I just was thinking today, like, man, I should actually sign up for some races this year. So it gives me like, I'm not aimlessly just running around.
No, there's something to be said for it. I'm weird about goals as well in that often I just talked to my team about it. I made a little acronym up for it. But the problem I run into with goals is that people often set like this big expectation of like, I'm going to ride 2,500 miles. And it's like, okay, 2,500 miles is awesome. But how are you going to do that? Yeah. And so I talked to him about it. I made an acronym I don't expect anybody to remember, but it's gauge, opportunity. There's a secret. That's actionable with limits. Because the problem is if you don't set some kind of limitation on yourself, you'll never get anywhere. So if your goal is to literally be like ride 2,500 miles, then the first step is 362 now, or when you guys hear this, 364, no, that's stupid. I'm doing math wrong. 360, or whatever it is. Whenever you listen to this, divide it into that number. Right. That's how many days you got to ride. I mean, so you've got to give yourself something that's accountability across that board that you can actually do. And so now I've just shifted from it. So my goal is to develop a series of trails, and I want to get a certain amount of trails done. And I've got to figure out what that's going to be based on what we're dealing with, building trails, that is.
Right.
And then riding, I don't want to put a big goal on it other than feel like I improved, right? I don't want storyteller to be a goal. I couldn't.
You know what's scary?
It's not attainable.
Well,
it's not.
We can talk about it in the future. But
No, it's go for it. We're segueing in. I mean, cool.
Storyteller at Oak Mountain is the first time I've been terrified on a bicycle, and that fear and that like terror makes me want to be able to do it.
Yeah, there's part of me that's that way.
The problem is I have no way to train for it, and I'm not going up there once a month for 12 months.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So it's almost, again, no offense, Chase, that's almost not an attainable goal for me, where I feel confident. Do I feel confident in my skills? Yes. But did I stare down that cliff? And I mean, if you guys haven't seen Storyteller, I'm not lying to you per camera. It is that steep, if not more. And video does not even describe it. And there's guys in bigger areas of the country, and there's people that listen to this across the world, actually. Shout out to Croatia. Hello. All of y'all probably have stuff, but where we're at, we don't have that. So when you roll up on that, and let's face it, let's be honest, I got an ego. You know, we walked upon it. Fair enough. I got to use the right. I got an ego. Dale's definitely got an ego. Yeah. Justin doesn't have as much of an ego.
Right.
Is that Freeze calling?
No.
Okay. Justin doesn't have that much of an ego. And I don't know about Chase. Chase seems just straightforward. Like,
he's just
it's his backyard.
Yeah, right.
And Kevin definitely has an ego. And Bill doesn't have an ego.
Right.
But Kev has an ego. And we roll up on that. And I mean, walk up on it. And we're looking down at it. And I have never in my life sat there and been like, every route that I can possibly imagine to get down this on a bicycle ends in, it's like I was Sherlock Holmes. You remember that? Like where it's like you see all the different things. Every single one of them was me. I just heard a bone crunch at the end. Yeah. Because I just couldn't process the body position of how to handle it in a way where I wouldn't be thinking about the fear the entire time. And then I wouldn't be focused on the riding. And it required a lot of focus.
Yeah, there was when you're standing at the top looking down and you can't even visualize the actual line. Like there's no line. Right. It's just kind of a free for all. And then Chase just casually rolls into it.
Well, I mean, he beasted in, but.
Well, yeah, but still. Yeah. I mean, and Kevin did it.
Yeah.
He came down.
I mean, he admitted in his own way that it was a little nerve wracking. Because again, it's not stuff that we do. I mean, that's probably a downhill line for like, you know, the pro guys that they see that stuff and it's, yeah, whatever. And he talked about some guy that came out there from.
He sent me the video.
Norway. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Is he Swedish? Finnish? Somewhere. And it's just wicked. Yeah. The dude's a wicked rider. No joke. He's just.
And I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I know I used my bike as a limitation all day long, but that bike would change my whole mindset. Like switching bikes. Yeah. Because I was on my older, higher, you know, less rake, you know, less travel bike. And I feel like that other bike would just make it a little bit easier. And like, not that it's easy by any means, but for anybody to think that there's a harder trail in the whole state of Alabama, I would love to see it.
And there's no doubt that is the hardest trail because it's not just that primary feature.
No,
because that one's burned into my brain because that's the first moment in my entire riding.
The first impression of it.
Yeah. That it's like you're a baby goat being born and you're like, oh fuck. Like, like I looked at that and I said, there's no way. And I turned to Justin and I was like, bro. And he was like, I know. And I wish he would have gone, ay caramba. It would have been perfect.
And just bombed down it.
But the two of us just sat there and then like, I'll never forget the faces. And it's like, what are you going to do?
Well, and I mean, I fell walking. That's how steep it is. Like you couldn't even walk on the leaves. It was so steep. I mean, we rode in between the bigger features, or we tried, and that was sketchy too. So, I mean, the big features there were big, like rock drops into corners that you have to hit the berm or you're going off another cliff. And
There was that one drop that had I not been so rattled,
Yeah.
I mean, literally, let's backtrack real quick. So let's go to the beginning of that day, right? Chase
Storyteller was midday.
Yeah, Chase is awesome when we show up, and he gave us kind of the what every proper president. I mean, frankly, it's humbling that he gave us that much attention.
Absolutely.
Of a big organization, as much trails as those guys cover. It was really awesome, and it was his last day of vacation. So Chase, I'm not kissing your ass because I know you wouldn't settle for that. You'd make some smarmy joke that would be quite timely, I'm sure. But I am saying publicly, I'm very grateful for it. So he took us up to show us stuff that we might not normally see, because I would have never gone up to Storyteller. I couldn't even gotten to Storyteller. If you told me where it was, I wouldn't understand, right? That was my first time on Oak Mountain on top of it. Justin's second, but he hadn't ridden much.
My second.
Yeah. Kevin has ridden there a good bit, and Bill's ridden there some. And so for us, it's all kind of new territory. So he takes us up. He shuttles us up, which is awesome.
Right.
So then we don't have to climb that monster hill that everybody does. We shuttle up, and then we go up. Well, I think they call it north side or west side. I don't remember. Some trail. We took some trail up.
Chase.
Yeah, we just followed Chase. And we basically climbed up a fire road, and we're going higher and higher. We're on the top of the mountain. It was like, man, this is pretty cool. And even that trail was fun. There was rocks. It was, but we get up there, and then he's like, all right, basically it was a qualifier. And the qualifier.
He should have seen the qualifier. We didn't qualify.
Yeah. We did not qualify. Was a trail called Boulder. And if you've not seen it. Is that what it was?
Yeah, Boulder Ridge.
Boulder Ridge. There you go. It's called Boulder Ridge, and it's literally boulders on a ridge with rock drops.
Without a doubt. Aptly named.
There's at one point when we're crossing that stuff that there's a rock gap, and I get a little cocky, and Dale's like, I'll film it. And I'm like, let's do it. And I do this little, and it's not a big gap. Chase tells me how to ride it.
It's a blind gap, though.
Yeah, it is a blind gap. That's fair. Chase shows me how to do it. I get towed in. It was awesome. And I was like, yeah, it felt pretty good. I was like, now I feel pretty good. And I'm climbing a few of the rocks here and there. Very few, but I'm pedal kicking up, and I'm feeling pretty solid. And then we go around a turn, and it's just like, I just fall. I don't even know what happened. I just fall off my bike. I hit a tree. Whatever happens, I fall. And again, that's when the moment clicked in my brain of like, oh my God, everywhere I fall, I'm going to hit a rock. Somehow I landed, not on my bad knee. I'm standing up doing a weird Drew exit like I always do off my crashes. And then Dale's like, you're right. He's laughing. Because, I was making a joke out of it. Little did I know later, Dale literally gets on his bike.
One pedal crank. Boom. Straight down.
Just to the ground.
I thought, all right, hey, I saw Chase take the rock line. And I was like, oh, yeah, I got this. I go 2 pedal cranks, 1 pedal crank, hit another rock. My bike goes nowhere. I go straight down. Shin just raked off a huge boulder.
And at that point, the walking began.
Yeah,
it just got into like,
I'm not doing this. This is ridiculous.
Kevin, in fairness, did hit a pretty gnarly rock drop. Like it was fast.
It's a wall that you can't go straight down. You have to go across because it's so steep.
Right.
So you're dropping in over roots, across obstacles. And,
right.
And the thing about Boulder Ridge was, and Chase was trying to express this to us, Oak Mountain is unique in that trail is nowhere on the whole entire planet.
Right.
That is one trail that cannot be replicated.
That's right.
And that's what was pretty rad.
That is 100% nature made.
Nature made.
And there is no machine cut. There is nothing in the world. And that's what he knew we were coming up for trail inspiration. So we had taken this trip up there. We invited a bunch of different people. Lots of people wanted to go to ride Beeham, but Dale and I had a very strict focus on we're working to develop trails at the Rev. We needed inspiration. Not that we can't get that from somewhere like Ride Beeham, but we specifically wanted to take away. When I ride machine cut stuff, I don't take away as much as I do when I ride something else that was hand cut, that's been there, that's raw. Like that's because I got to work with what I got.
Storyteller 2 was hand cut. They hand cut.
It's mind blowing.
It's mind blowing. It was raw, and the big drop that Kevin dropped at the end. That's what he was talking about. That they spent a whole day stacking those rocks,
right,
like around it.
Yeah. It's crazy stuff. So we get up there and we finally get to it. So now it becomes the chance for us to actually go down this trail and do something. And we finish off Boulder or Boulder Ridge, and now we're going back around to Storyteller.
Yeah.
And so we've fallen a couple of times, but no big deal. They're all light falls, luckily. Or we walked and we laughed.
We've been going like 1.6 miles an hour.
Oh my God. I think, what did he say? We did 6 miles in 2 hours, something obnoxiously slow. And again, we did not session. We repeated a few things.
Yeah.
we did finally get, when we get to Storyteller, just the trail in. So you got to go back up part of Boulder Ridge, which is challenging, but it's fun to me. I love that kind of riding. I love that technical climbs. Like, so that stuff for me, like Chase, that's like right on the mark. And then you hit Storytellers, like we rode like 30 feet. And then that's when the first big section was. And I was like, oh dear God.
Yeah. And you can't, there's hundreds of videos on Storyteller on YouTube. No, not one of them can tell you what it's like.
Nope.
And if you go all the way up there, you're up. So there's two ways down: Storyteller or Boulder Ridge.
Yep.
You have no choice. There's no. I mean, just suck it up, Buttercup.
The hard part is, I would suggest going up. You almost need a guide, to be honest with you, because if you were to do Boulder Ridge, I wouldn't have known not just the lines.
No.
I wouldn't have known where the trail was. That's what makes it so unique. It's almost like free riding. Like it was. You could see some spots where there's pedal strikes and other stuff. Mm-hmm. But like, my God, I wouldn't have known to go left there. I would have kept going up and been like, well, I don't know where I'm going.
Also, full face is a must. I didn't have one, and I felt my teeth chatter a few times.
Yeah, there was a few. Yeah.
Sketchy.
Yeah. So we were staring down at the first feature on Storyteller. It's terrifying. You go down past it once you slide down. Now, the worst part about that entire thing was...
I was blacked out at that point. I don't remember the rest.
Dude. It's not just that we don't have rocks. We also don't have leaves like that fall with that density. So now you have densely covered ground, or dense leaves on rocky ground. So you can't see what's underneath you.
Right.
Just like you didn't have your bike and didn't feel comfortable, for whatever reason, my shoes I was wearing my Ride Concepts. I was not feeling them. I'm not blaming them. They are not the reason. I am the failure.
Right.
But when your equipment doesn't feel up to par, I felt like I had no grip on anything, whether it was on my bike or on the ground. They just felt slick, and it wasn't muddy. It was dry. There was no permafrost or thaw frost or whatever they call it. And for us to sit there and deal with it, I don't know, that was brutal stuff.
It was brutal, but it was also eye-opening, right? Like, first of all, we can't replicate those trails because we don't have anything that steep, that long.
Right.
That we could even make a switchback like that. It's just not, we don't have it. It's just not our trail system. We can make fun trails that are similar, that have maybe one of their features.
Right.
But we can't do that whole, and that's what the intensity was. It was like, cool, we made it past that. What's next? You know, like it was a white knuckle all the way down the side of this. Like, okay, we can ride a little bit tentatively between bigger things. And then once you hear Chase say, oh, this is the last one, you're like, whew, thank God.
Oh, yeah.
We made it.
Now you hit that point. The other thing that was crazy is every single piece down Storyteller, every moment there was, especially all the features for sure, except for the last one. That last drop was not so bad. I feel like
I could have done that.
Yeah, we could all have done that. That was no different than anything we've all handled. But everything else but that last drop, I mean, there's a berm where you're going down a rock chute into a berm. If you miss the berm, you're off the mountain.
Yes,
it's game over, kids. So like the causality or the consequences are so high on everything up there that it's not just a confidence game. Your skills have to be in place in order to handle it. And so I admire anybody, like watching those guys do it. That is badass. And shout out to Bump and the Bump members that can handle that, because you guys, like, legendary.
Yeah,
and I don't think Oak Mountain and Birmingham gets enough credit for how badass their riders are.
No, and that's the thing. Like the heat has been on Ride Beham because it's a
bike park.
It's a bike park. Okay, like I get it that it's a downhill, it's a smooth trail.
Well, they've got allegedly they have some stuff. In fairness,
here's what
it's just my screen.
Okay, here's what I think. This, and please don't no one take offense to any of this. All right, so I'm going to compare it to two different ATVs.
But in fairness, let's first say we have not been.
We have not been there. I'm just comparing it to ATVs.
Yeah.
Okay, so a four-wheeler you get on and there's a clutch. You have to know how to shift it, to drive it. You have to be able to get through the gears, and you have to be able to do all this and ride it, okay? That to me is what a technical trail is like, with a bunch of other rocks and things you have to go through.
Fair enough.
Or you can get on a snowmobile that has a throttle. You just pull the trigger and it goes.
Right.
They both can go, but one has less technical side of it. Maybe that's a terrible analogy, but I feel like Ride Beham is probably amazing. I'm sure it is. Like I would love it, I'm sure. But just the smoothness of it, it's almost like, hey, anybody could go down it. Whether you could jump all of it or not, that's not the point. The point is you could go down
You can case it.
Yeah,
right.
Some of the bigger trails or some of the other trails. But like we were in sections that we didn't have an option. Like you just had to walk.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to shift the four-wheeler to get it to there. Right? Like if I was on somebody, I'd just pull the trigger and die.
Right.
But if I was on the 4-wheeler, I'd have to learn how to shift it to go, So, man, I'm sure that it's just two totally different forms of riding. It would be like comparing a BMX racetrack to a bike park, or like I don't know, a street skate area.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, I think it's two different things. So again, I can only comment on what we know. I just know that what we experienced at Oak Mountain and the level of rider that I can imagine, if you're good at riding Oak Mountain, you're probably smashing Ride Beeham, right? And it's probably just an epic series of things. However, at the same time, this was a lot of technical mixed in with downhill. So now all of a sudden, and I think they have some of that Ride Beeham in fairness, but there's this nice mix of stuff. The thing that floored me is I had not realized the beauty of the trails and the amount of trail work that goes into what they've developed and maintained and kept and brought into existence, and then taking it to an extreme with that. But we also, and I think we're allowed to talk about it. Yeah. We also, I don't know why I wouldn't at this point. It's open. We also got to preview, or it's almost open. We got to preview Tails, which that trail. So we rode Lightning. We didn't get to do Thunder, but we did do Lightning. We ran out of time because of daylight, but we did get to ride Tails. And what is your takeaway on that?
That trail was amazing.
Yeah.
Like we run out of daylight, so we didn't get to ride it over and over again, or whatever you guys regularly call that.
He won't say it.
But when just the intensity of it, like it is a bike park trail that is narrow.
Right.
And it feels like you're still on a man-made, like hand-cut trail.
Yep.
But there's bike park features on it. And to me, that was the best part. Like you're whipping through and all of a sudden there's a tabletop, but there's a tree right against it. So you have to somehow get, like it was awesome. I'm glad I was on Chase's wheel so I could see what the line was somewhat.
Yeah. It's, even from somebody like me that's not as advanced as them, like mediocre at best for this area, nowhere else in the world. Humble. But even then, it's like hitting a couple of jumps. I mean, I cased a few because it's first time riding it, but then a few I didn't, and they were fun, and it was flowy, and it was pumping through stuff. And then there's a section we didn't get to ride because there was a freestyle thing. We were getting a little special treatment preview to see it, but at the bottom where we couldn't ride, we walked over to it, and there's this beautiful berm section where literally you drop in off of it's a step down, if I'm not mistaken. And then you ride up the wall, and it's like a horseshoe up a wall, and then it comes back down and with enough speed that now you hit a step up into a berm.
Yeah.
And it is crazy looking.
I know.
Into another into a gap, into a bigger berm. I mean, it was a beautiful finish. It's really well thought out and really fun. But that's what I'm saying is so interesting about Oak Mountain. We literally had our asses kicked to a point where we couldn't ride our bikes anymore. We physically were forced to walk. And then the next minute, we're sending it down Lightning.
And we're back to like thinking we're good at biking again.
Right.
For a minute.
And
my by the way, shout out to Barry Smith Trail Building because they murdered that trail.
Yeah.
I think his name's Shaggy. Wasn't it? Is that what
I think it was Shaggy.
Shaggy was on the...
He calls the other guy Scoob, but I'm not sure if that's accurate.
Yeah.
I think one of them...
Shout out Shaggy, shout out Barry Smith Trail Building because that trail is badass.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
I would tell anybody looking for somewhere to go ride, I would tell them to go ride. Because look, you go to Oak Mountain or you go to Birmingham now, you literally can spend a day at Ride Beeham, spend another. Now, I would suggest an e-bike for this. Jakey Poo will get pissed. You could go to Oak Mountain a day there or more, probably 2 days, and then you can go to Ride Beeham, and then there's other stuff. So there's plenty of trails around that area that are really solid.
And 1 hour from Coldwater.
And you're 1 hour from Coldwater, which is another great one. And that's if just you're looking for regional. But it's just a different type of riding, right? And I've ridden a lot in Chattanooga, and I've not encountered anything quite as brutal as that stuff. It's amazing to me.
But we also got to ride Lightning, and Lightning is still an awesome trail.
Oh, Lightning's fantastic.
Like, I loved bombing that thing so bad. It was so much fun.
And that's a good flow trail. So, I mean, we enjoy that. That's the same thing you're going to get, like, to degree. That's what Ride Birmingham, Ride Beeham has, right? That's what makes it fun is you have these great flow trails. The only thing that I hate that we didn't get to ride because again, time ran out on us and we chose to go to a different trail again, cause we're working on trail building. That was the purpose of our recce. Is that I didn't get to ride Jekyll or Hyde because I hear that they're downhill with rocks.
Yeah.
And
they're like Lightning with rocks kind of.
I kind of enjoy that stuff. Like that's something that's hard, but fun for, I enjoy those. They're a little bit challenging. It reminds me of the stuff like in Chattanooga that I like to ride. And so I hate that we missed those, but
that just gives us another reason to go back.
Oh, we're going back.
Yeah, definitely going back.
Oh, that's easy. If nothing else, I need another cheeseburger. The next day, though, we got up, we Airbnb'd it. And by the way, let me just give a shout out to Kevin Black. That dude not only does great work at his tattoo shop, Man of War Tattoos, located in Fairhope, Alabama.
That's right.
But that dude's the real deal motherfucker.
Yeah, he's now our Tom Cruise.
He's our Maverick.
He's our Maverick.
He's our Maverick. I mean, he straight up was Maverick.
He was.
He took on all the challenges and made him look good.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was riding, we were walking. He did not let up on the jokes either, which was great.
And he still hasn't.
Oh no, that's fine.
I'm sure we'll get him
I'm gonna
forever.
walk my happy ass in there and have him tattoo "Walk This Way" right on my arm.
I mean, I'd do it if I could get a walk it off. Now walk it off. I'd take it all day.
There's so many. Like, there's a new trail, and actually somebody asked me what the new trail's name was, and I haven't decided fully yet.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to call it Walker Red Ranger.
Yeah.
Instead of Texas Ranger, but I don't know. There's so many. Like,
there's so many jokes built around
the
it.
walking thing was we couldn't. There's no defense.
Right.
Like I even have a video we'll put out sooner or later that says like, hey, this is the day that the Ride the Rebellion became Walk the Rebellion.
Yeah.
Because we were straight up walking.
Yeah. I don't know how I could have shown it visually. I would have to use a drone, and I mean that's a hard trail to film too.
Oh,
like even just to display it accurately. I could do it, but it would actually require setup because that's a lot of work.
I feel like the cool thing about Storyteller, while we're still here on that, is they kind of did what we do at the Reb. Like, we'll walk an area and we'll find things like land masses that we want to hit, and then figure out how we can make the trail go through that. So, like, that's what it was. The features weren't built.
Right.
The features were natural features there that they found ways to ride off of them.
Yep.
So that's kind of what we're doing, and that was kind of refreshing that, hey, we are doing that. Our features just are maybe a roller this tall instead of a rock that's this tall, you know.
Well, and in fairness, that's like you said, that's all hand cut. So you go back and look at that, and that is a feat of not just engineering; it's just determination and passion. I mean, that's what you see on that trail, which is even more mind blowing. Like, and that's the things to take away. Like, look, I'm not gonna lie, I was completely defeated.
Yeah,
I was defeated. Like, I'm glad that we got to ride that stuff to get our energy back on the back end, because I was like, man, I suck. Why do I even own a fucking bike anymore? Like, I'm going back and selling all this shit.
Next podcast is how to sell your bike in one day.
That's it. And it's like, welcome to the Kayak the Rebellion podcast, as we just
and I mean, your worries away.
Yeah, I mean, I just was like, I'm nothing, and but it was also fantastic because at the same time I looked at, I was like, the amount of, you can tell that there's something real to that you don't see everywhere else.
What's funny about it? Not to interrupt.
No, you're
good.
good.
To interrupt. That trail maybe is Chase's personality in trail form.
Absolutely.
That would be. I mean, and I know he had a massive hand in it. Yeah. So that is Chase's whole personality. Like, he might not even enjoy riding it. He just would rather like everybody else be like bitches. Like, you're a bitch, you're a bitch, you're a bitch. Yeah. While he's peeing in his pants when he rides it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He rode it. I watched him.
He definitely rode it.
He's a beast.
He went right down it.
He's a beast. So if you have a chance, I highly suggest you head out to Oak Mountain. We're gonna have Chase on at some point. Check out Oak Mountain again if you haven't been. I think Tails is gonna be open soon.
Yeah, they have the grand opening this weekend.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Closed. So it's closed right now again.
Yeah.
Because of the rain that's coming in today. But the grand opening's this weekend. And they spend a lot of time out there packing it. You know, like, it's legit.
When you guys see it, it's a beautiful piece of work.
Seriously, if you go up there and you're from here or from not there and it's closed, respect it, man. Like,
yeah, for real.
Do not ride it if it's closed. There's no reason to. Like,
right.
You're just gonna ruin the trail. Like,
and you'll get seen.
Yeah,
and just take that for what it means.
Yeah, right. Just respect the trail, because down here we've had this talk all the time about riding wet trails. It's totally different when it's clay. And when they said they didn't bring any dirt in to build it, that's also very incredible. Once you go ride there and realize he just cut that out of the side of the mountain, that's freaking, it's amazing.
Oh, it's beast mode, man. It's no dirt. Not hand cut, machine cut, but like built off of what's already there is incredible.
And plus where he drove that machine.
Oh, like, yeah.
I don't even get it.
And then how'd he scout it?
I'm
baffled. He knew the line there. It's incredible. Like, again, it's worth a visit if you have a chance.
And future things, maybe we'll drop this before Chase comes on and does it.
Yeah.
But I think Lightning's being redone in sections.
Yeah.
From the same guys that did Tails. So
right.
Pretty sweet. And Tails got its name because it was sponsored by Fox.
Right.
So Fox Factory.
There's some history to it that someone told me about that has to do with the Fox Tails thing. Like, there's something to do with that, and I don't remember it right now.
What,
but there's
the two different Fox things?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because Fox Head is one
Right.
side and it's a brother. Foxtails is the other brother.
Oh, one's motorcycles, one's bikes, or
yeah,
whatever.
like I don't know.
Or motorsports and
I don't know what to differentiate. But they're two different companies.
Got it.
Probably under the same umbrella. I'm
So
sure.
there's Fox Head, Fox Tails.
Yeah, right.
Got it. Well, there we go. That's what it was. So the next day we went and rode a place called Cahaba River
Cahaba River Park.
which was a lot of fun.
Maintained by Shelby County. The whole county maintains it.
That's correct. They have a live-on trail builder
That's right.
who used to work for...
Canuga?
No, he worked for the guy that built, I think.
Barry Smith.
He worked for Barry Smith.
Maybe, yeah. I couldn't remember. There was so much information.
And those trails were fantastic. They were fun. It was a lot of pedaling, a lot of ups and downs. It was exactly what we needed
the day after.
But it was also great from an inspiration standpoint for us to look at like, okay, cool, look how they're using this land to make it work and do all this. Because it wasn't that many. And we rode 15 miles and there's probably 20 there, maybe 20.
Yeah, I think we rode most of it.
Yeah. And it was fun. There was a lot of fun stuff. We even shuttled. We figured out a way to shuttle there because we didn't want to climb this one hill anymore. And it was a fun downhill. It was fun.
It was cool.
So that location too is worth it. It's not probably my favorite thing I've ridden. I wouldn't travel to Birmingham. I'm not trashing it by any means. It's worth it if you're there.
That's right.
And you need a break day. It's a fantastic break day. You're going to pedal, but it's not going to physically exert you from arm pump.
And there's some beautiful views there.
Like
the
stunning.
Cliff over the river. And it was a really, really cool place. And everybody that we talked to the day before because we met a ton of people at Oak Mountain. And when we said we were going there, they're like, oh yeah, nobody said don't waste your time.
Right.
I feel like it's one of those places that is a great place to go ride, a great place to pedal, a great place to lose yourself on the bike without having to think a lot.
Yep.
But there's still some stuff you had to think about, some technical stuff. And then the nice little jump line I say jump line, there was some jumps on it. That was really cool.
But they're adding a bunch more, so that's the exciting part is that trail will constantly change. So maybe it's worth going back while you're up there to ride Oak Mountain or ride Bingham or both or all of the above. But it was a lot of fun. So props to them on what they're doing. I think it's going to be a fantastic piece. It was a great, great, fun, all mountain XC sort of vibe. I only bring up all mountain is because we ended up making it a little more aggressive than probably they intended, but that's what we do. And we had a good time with it, but we had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Made me feel like I deserved my bike again for a little while.
Oh yeah. Like I felt like I here I am riding a Colorado based bike. I might as well.
I feel like at the beginning I had to get a little bit of my pent up aggression out.
Fucker took off. Like Dale was gone.
Like, let's just go.
He was like, I'm out.
I'm just going to climb.
Kevin and I are just struggling to keep up with you. So the point of all this is to say is that there's local trails and there's fun trails all around you. Do not ever just go experience it for yourself. Like we're even saying about Ride Beeham. We haven't experienced it, but go experience those trails for yourself. Don't just listen to what other people say.
That's right.
You got to go ride this stuff. And if you're looking for inspiration or you're looking for a break, sometimes the best thing you can do for your riding is go find something that challenges you in a way that doesn't kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Like Storyteller was too much. But I did walk away afterwards going, okay, that's a beast.
Now
One day I may conquer it, but it's...
There was that before that day, you had no bar.
I had no bar. I have a bar. I have a big bar.
Yeah. I'd have to be at the bar before I go to that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Just watch me drunk and tumble down this thing. But the point being is like it's worth it if you take the time to like go experience something new, stop riding the same old thing over and over again, get out there and see stuff. I mean, that was a short 3.5 hour drive. We could have probably driven up and driven back if we needed to. But why not? Why not stay the night? It was cheap at the end of the day.
And you get to ride 2 different trail systems in a day.
Right.
We weren't there for 30 hours, right? So
yeah.
So I think the other thing is like what Bump is doing in Birmingham is amazing. They have Oak Mountain, Double Oak. I'm probably going to miss some, but I know Double Oak is new. Yeah. It's one of their new trails that just opened.
They have Tannin Hill.
Yeah, Tannin Hill. I think, what did he say? They maintain like 75 miles of trails?
Or 80 miles, something like that.
I don't know. He'll probably do it. But
Botchamania on the trail numbers.
Yeah, but there's enough miles up there that you can't not be happy. Like,
well, I mean, Oak Mountain alone, I think is 40.
Right. 30 or something. 30 or 40.
30 or 40.
Yeah, it's a lot. And Chase is constantly applying for other grant money to build more trails and to build stuff. Like he just applied for a grant to get money for a big skills area. So if you've ever been there before, it's different than it was when you were there the last time. So
I think it's kind of strange that IMBA memberships don't have like a They should have like almost like a tip jar type scenario set up where like I could just give a donation.
Oh, they do, but IMBA takes a lot out of that.
Yeah, well, fuck that.
I know.
They need to come up
It's
with like
stupid.
I feel honored to. I appreciate the work. That's why I joined Samba in the first place. That's the only reason why we're even in this conversation is because I rode trails that I was like, somebody did this work, and I don't know who it is, but if it's a Samba bunch of assholes, then I'll give them some money. And so I did, just out of respect of like, hey, thanks, I'm going to keep riding.
Right.
The same thing. I wish they had that. I don't need to be a member of Bump. I don't give a shit.
No.
But I would like to say, hey, here's an anonymous donation that IMBA doesn't need
I'm sure
any
we
of.
could probably do a Ride the Rebellion podcast donation to the Bump chapter.
That'd be
We could
pretty
be
sweet.
Sponsors.
Yeah.
Chase, how much does that cost?
Yeah. Chase. How much
Chase,
does that cost?
If I wear one of those black robes to a fire ring, give you $100.
That sounds so spicy.
That happened though. I wore a black robe
Yeah.
for a picture
Yeah.
on top of a mountain.
Talk to Justin about whites on bikes.
Yeah, Justin was there. It's fine.
Yeah. I would like to figure out a way. That'd be kind of fun. Just if you go up there and ride. I mean, I just think that's any trail system. I
We'll
gave
donate money.
Misfits money in Biloxi. I rode there once. I was
We'll
like, hey, thanks
donate
for the
enough
trails.
money that the Ride the Rebellion podcast has paid for this rock.
Yeah, no shit. This
Which
is the
I'm-
walk rock.
This is the Walk Rock. Yes, we have to have a trail named Walk This Trail. The
Yeah,
Rebellion.
we need to come up with
podcast.
yeah. You got a cock blocker. We got a walk blocker.
Yeah, but I think that's a state park, so we got the names.
Well, if you did walk blocker,
yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah,
yeah. I don't know what it'll be. Who knows what it'll do?
we just blew Chase's whole podcast. Chase, you can come on talking about bump and grind. I'm not going to talk about that because I'll f that all up too.
Yeah, we don't want to.
No.
I don't even. That's like that's their big event, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah. I don't think there's a lot else except for we've worked two of our sponsors in, one of which you attended a little New Year's Eve tradition there, hungover,
Yeah.
Ohio State having lost.
I didn't even want to drink.
How did you
I'm supposed
bring?
to be not
How did you
drinking.
bring yourself the will to attend?
It was a friendship. It was like peer pressure. And especially when I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And it was an early morning run at Run and Try is what I did. Aaron came over New Year's Eve and made 50 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And he asked me if I would, that's what he was like. That was part of his tailgating kit.
That's fantastic.
Right? So then the rest of it was pizza rolls, mini corn dogs, and I made pancakes on the grill and bacon and sausage.
Perfect.
So it was perfect. We had a bunch of people showed up, ran from Run and Try in the morning, but I was definitely hungover. And apologies, Aaron, I didn't want to day drink. My bad.
And I would just like to say straight to camera, listen, you motherfuckers, stop buying all the UCAN. You've sold them out so much that I can't even get it anymore. I mean, it's fucking for real.
Yeah, he's
Like, thank you
he
for
tries.
sponsoring, but fuck you for sponsoring them.
Yeah, quit buying what we like.
It's ridiculous.
Soon we will tell you what to buy and where to buy it.
I mean, I mean, it's gotten to a point where it's like I can't even get the stuff I want anymore because it's never available. That's until things change.
Until things change.
Well, Aaron, at Run and Try. If you haven't been over there, go to Run and Try. You can go to their website. But if you buy the fucking UCAN, I'm going to end you.
That's true.
I'm spicy about it.
No more.
I dropped a few
tailwind.
F-bombs this time. I was just
It's
filling
fine.
in. I'm warming up for the chase side of things. I was channeling my inner chase.
Whew, Chase is going to be.
Spicy.
It'll be like an early Dr.
Why don't
Dre
you be very
album.
mellow?
He'll be
And
like-
he gets
he'll be-
panicked in front of cameras.
No,
That would
yeah.
make me super happy.
He'll just be like, "I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for having me on.
It's me. It's Chase.
It's
thanks.
Chase the Destroyer."
I just wanted to check and see if there goes Sasquatch guy. Oh, that's him. Jesus, Chase is gonna pound my face.
Oh man, he did say he was talking about coming down in February sometime.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
Well, I'm on the show.
I said, well, maybe you're good enough to ride at the Rebellion. I don't know yet. We'll have to have
Asshole's
a
probably
qualifier.
gonna get off his bike and walk that shit just to be a
He
prick.
probably will. We'll have to make up some kind of weird qualifier he has to do to make
Yeah.
ride down the rest of it.
Yeah.
Like let's just pile up some rocks up by the top.
Just some
You gotta
broken
be able-
ass asphalt.
asphalt. You got to be able to ride this.
Yep.
Sorry, bro.
He'll be like, guys, I'm just gonna hop it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we need to touch on? It's New Year. It's almost to our 1 year anniversary. It's in February. We're gonna have a special show. I don't know what we're gonna do for it, but we'll figure something out.
That'll be
Maybe
good.
live from some random joint.
That would be awesome too.
Yeah.
Random joints.
I don't know.
I don't know. We don't. F&L coming back January.
Yep.
I did say
You starting this Friday?
Yeah, this Friday. Justin was the de facto winner because
Yeah, I
we
saw
ran
that.
out of rain days.
Fucker had so many points.
He gets a unicorn tray like yours, but his is gold.
Hey, that's good though.
So F&L Friday nights, you can come race with us, and I'm going to try to keep track of monthly winners so we can do a yearly winner.
Oh, that's fun.
And maybe I'll get the soft member to give us some Sombic money, and we'll buy something actually legit.
That'd be really good.
It'd be really cool.
That'd be really, really good. Also, if you are interested in putting your business into a train wreck, we'll accept any sponsors. Right. The thing that shocks me, and I'm calling them out because I don't know if they listen or not, but if you're a bike shop in this general area and you haven't taken the time to just be like, hey guys, how much is sponsorship? And we tell you free because we want to support local, then you're wasting time. So I'm not going to give it to you. I'm going to make you ask for it at this point. And now pride's going to get in the way and you're going to be like, why didn't I ask for it? Well, you could advertise zero, or you could advertise to a dedicated audience of people that might buy your shit. And frankly, that same group of people might jump online and buy your shit from your website. Just saying.
Or we send them to your shops to get their shit fixed. Because where else is there to go?
All there. Speaking of, I got a whole bunch of new bike parts that I have to go deal with at some point.
What are they? I can help you. I just fix mine.
I got to run brakes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, through an e-bike? No.
I could probably do it. I got a brake bleed kit and everything.
I don't need that. They're TRPs.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. I did on mine. And I just fixed my Meta. It was broken.
Because you destroyed it.
I definitely destroyed it, but I fixed it.
And then I got the rest of it's easy. It's pedals. I do have to install a cassette onto, I don't have that. Don't you need a wrench for that?
I have it.
Do you?
Uh-huh.
I just need to install a cassette.
Oh, I can do that.
Okay, well, we're going to go fix my bike.
Come over to the walk the Rebellion King. What is that? What was that? The
King of the
turn down
Alabama walk down.
Yeah, King of the Alabama walk down.
Oh no, that's worse. Dale Boyd, King of the Alabama walk down.
Whoa, ugh. That's so painful.
Yeah, people are gonna run with that just to zing you.
That's fine. They can keep up.
It's all right. Sometimes big fish get into ponds that are way big.
I know. The problem is, like, I've ridden a lot of places, but I've never been like
that shut me down. That shut me the fuck down.
And I don't even know if it was because
like Boulder Ridge didn't bother me because I don't have rocks. Like I rode as much as I could comfortably. I couldn't ride Storyteller at all. No. I just couldn't physically. Like I was just falling all over. Like even when I started riding, I was
shoulder
falling.
Again.
Yeah,
because I fell walking.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
My arm down, hurt my same shoulder that's already broken.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Anybody? Does anybody have any other place that you think we should go in Alabama? Because we will go.
Hit it up.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, we have a goal for the year to try and ride as much of Alabama trails as humanly possible. Obviously, we got this dinky part of the country covered, or part of the state rather. If you have other spots, send them to us. You can follow us on all social media channels at Ride the Rebellion. You can email us at ridetherebellion@gmail.com. Hell, you can even communicate through our Anchor thing.
Discord, everything. We got all
Discord. We got all the stuff.
The last episode with Nixon. If you haven't listened to that, go back. You definitely need to listen to that because he is a great human.
Right. We learned very quickly. We ride trails, and up there they ride mountain bike trails.
That's right. Trail bikes.
Trail bikes versus mountain bikes.
Also, did you see the map I threw up last night?
I did get it.
We have 26 named trails.
26 trails.
That are named.
Some of them are literally 6 feet long.
Doesn't matter. Well, actually, there's another one I didn't name. There's the Joy Division one. I didn't put it on there.
Oh, yeah.
Just remembered. Shit.
It gets used from time to time.
It's only 4 foot long.
It's short.
But we do have 26 named trails. That's pretty awesome compared to what we had a
year ago.
Last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a huge shift what we've gone through to make all this stuff happen. So it's exciting for sure.
It's a huge pain in my hands from raking.
I know. But all we do is rake.
Rake and build.
Rake
and ride.
Rake and ride. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. And just remember, as Dale Boyd, King of the Alabama Walk Down, says,
if you can't ride it, walk it, because you're a bitch.
Oh my God.